What's going on, everybody? Bobster1984 back again, and Newcastle United have just been fucking destroyed. 3-0 at home to Leicester City. Now, I did my preview video before the game, and one of the emphasising points was I didn't want Jamie Vardy to get the record because of my belief of him being a little bit overhyped. Now do I feel like a little bit of a dickhead, but I will stand up and admit when I am wrong in terms of the goal he scored today was really good. He made the space for himself and he scored it. But that's to get into later on. I did a video, obviously, after we got absolutely destroyed by Manchester United, Man City. And I said, how do you sift through the wreckage at the start of that video? And I think this defeat is a little bit more severe in terms of how worrying it is. How does Steve McLaren sift through the wreckage is my question, because that was not a football performance. Newcastle United were dominated from the first minute, and I've got no qualms in admitting that. I'll hold my hands up and I will say Newcastle deserved everything they got today. Leicester came up here, and you would think before the game, Leicester in the top four, it's a false position, they shouldn't be there. Leicester came here, like in previous seasons, when Man United have given us some bollockings, City have given us some bollockings, Liverpool's, Arsenal, and Leicester have given us a bollocking like a top four side. Now, that's not me saying Leicester are going to be in the top four at the end of the season, but that's me saying that if Leicester are still classified as an average side punching above their weight, then what are Newcastle going to do against a side that is really poor, fighting alongside Newcastle? I think Newcastle at this minute in time are one of the easiest, safest candidates you can easily say about relegation, because we now have to start thinking about what on earth are we going to do in the January transfer window, because our squad is not good enough. As simple as that. I said in the last videos for the build-up for Bournemouth and the reaction against Bournemouth that you can't have a midfield that consists of Anita and Tiote. You just can't. It doesn't work. It can't work. They're two defensive-minded midfield players. They've got no creative spark going forward. You've got nothing going forward. Why are you still doing it? And today, exactly the same. Thankfully, everyone knows I'm not Tiote's biggest fan. He goes off with a groin injury, and I'm celebrating the fact, because up until then, Newcastle were literally shocking. And Tovan came on, and I'm not going to say Tovan had a fantastic game, because nobody played well for Newcastle, but Tovan, at least he's the kind of midfield player you want to see. He wants to go forward, and you're not going to get that playing Anita and Tiote. It's too defensive minded and it's too negative, and you're not going to get any creativity out of it, so stop fucking doing it. Mitrovic and Perez were both poor. It's the worst game I've seen Mitrovic play. Wijnaldum, I said before, had to have a big game, and he was even on the field. I thought the defence was a joke. All three goals. Vardy's first one, Vardy's goal, there was a hint of offside. Maybe he was a bollock hair offside, I don't know, but I'm not going to complain about it. At the end of the day, Newcastle didn't even do anything in the game to warrant me talking about them in a positive light today, which is really, really annoying. But that's the kind of thing we've got to put up with being Newcastle fans, I'm afraid. And then the second and third goal, absolute comedy, pathetic defending. Now, what is it going to take for Newcastle and the people that run that club to look at the squad and think, hold on, why do we always have these defensive blunders? Because they're not fucking good enough, that's why. I'm sorry, but you can't go out in the summer transfer window knowing your defence is shit and not decide to make any changes to it. The only thing that you do is you bring Mbemba in, and Mbemba has been all right all season. A lot of people are still saying he's had a great season so far. Yeah, he probably could have had a great season if he had actually a decent partner in his defence. I'm sorry, but Colaccini is finished. He needs to go. And Jan Matt was poor again today. He's been poor the last few games, and Dummett. I mean, I've been an advocate to play Dummett ahead of Haidara, but they're both as bad as each other as far as I'm concerned. And you can't really blame Rob Elliott. He did nothing wrong during the game. He had no chance with any of the goals. He had no defence, nothing to help him. It was just a farce. There's no other word of describing it. Newcastle United were a farce, and that's all we're going to be if nothing changes. And next week, where do we go? We go away to Crystal Palace against the one bloke other than Sam Allardyce who would love to fucking destroy us. Because look at how, he feels he was treated when he was in charge here. And honestly, I mean, I feel like you do these videos and you get a shocking result by winning. The look on my face when we beat Bournemouth, it was clear shock. And the rest of the time, all I seem to be doing is sitting here fucking complaining. But I'm not getting anything out of watching the team that is going to give me any other reason to not complain. And it's just, there's no point in even getting annoyed and pissed off about it, because that this is how it's going to be, unfortunately. And if they want to stay in the Premier League, they've got to spend some money. It's as simple as that. But our next couple of games, Palace away, Liverpool at home, I'm sorry, but we're going to be back in the bottom three very soon. We can't go back in the bottom three because Sunderland are 4 points behind we. But if they go out and get 3 points against Palace, then that's it. We'll be in the bottom three next weekend. Anyway, there's not really much more I can talk about. What else can be said? What are your opinions on the game? Do you feel exactly the same as me? Do you feel Newcastle was somehow hard done to? Whoever, I mean, if you do feel that way, then I think you need to be committed. Leicester, I hold my hands up. You were fantastic. Obviously, what I said about Vardy, I do have to congratulate him getting the records, equaling the record. So I actually now want him to go ahead and do it. That sounds hypocritical, but he's done it and he's equaled it. But I still don't believe any of this shit. I mean, the commentator said during the game, Real and Barca are interested. How are you, man? Give your fucking head a shake. Anyone talking about 20 million for him. I mean, you're talking about a player that he scored 10 in a row, but he could go 15 games now and not score. He's that kind of player. But anyway, I had me saying that earlier. Well done, Leicester. Dominated from start to finish. Newcastle United, you've got so much work to do, it's unreal. If you like the video, hit that like button. If you dislike it, hit that button as well, but leave a comment and tell us why you didn't like it. And please subscribe, because as I've said before, I'm here and I'm going to do all these videos all season. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you later.